What a comparison we have to finish off your fan-requested Friday lineup. Michal Krizo and Phil Heath. I went with the Arnold Classic Europe for Krizo. He has competed since then in the Mr. Universe, but there wasn't any pictures. There was a couple of, celebrating pictures, but no, mandatory shots. But here at the Arnold Classic Europe, we have most of the shots, and 2 of the poses are from his previous event. But he competes so very frequently that his physique pretty much stays the same. He looks awesome. And against a Phil Heath, first of all, it's too darn bad that Michal Krizo does not compete in the IFBB Pro League. He's in the IFBB Elite League, along, of course, with Good Vito, Vitaly Yugulnikov, and Andrew Jacked. But anyway, we can do picture comparisons until then. And in the front double bicep, this is superior structure for Michal Krizo, of course. Superior aesthetics versus muscle maturity. Now, if you don't understand muscle maturity, look at the difference. It looks like Phil Heath's muscles have been beaten into shape over centuries. I mean, come on. The guy is a beast. But of course, the midsection is the first thing we may take note of, and you could blame Louis Marco for that. But I'm sure that somebody else would have mentioned it. And against a superior midsection, such as Michal Krizo, I mean, this guy's midsection, it rivals that of the 1990s bodybuilders, I'm here to tell you. So in the front double bi, take your pick. Muscle maturity versus aesthetics, flow, and structure. Go to the front lat spread. I would go with the structure. Here in the front lat spread, you'll notice I used a finals pictures for Phil Heath. And this is the event prior to the Arnold's Classics Europe for Michal Krizo. There was no oil on Phil Heath. He didn't use any oil for the finals. Isn't that funny? Or it was very faint. Like a William Bonac. He doesn't use a whole lot of oil either. I think the structure would get the muscle maturity in this one for sure. But food for thought. Phil Heath, muscle separation. He looks awesome. Turn to the side and talk about apples and oranges. Look at the bicep tricep size on Phil Heath. It is just massive. Massive, his arms. No wonder he was making Hattie Shupin look small in those comparisons when they were both wearing shirts. It's the arms that were sticking out is why Phil looked so big there. Structurally speaking, again, you gotta like Krizo. You gotta like this guy. He's awesome. This looks like a big rammy side chest, to tell you the truth. Here's an idea for you guys. Go to the side tricep. And that's the fun thing about Fan Requested Friday. It's not the ones that I pick. It's the ones that you guys pick. So you can have pretty much any type of bizarre comparison. And this one was a good one. I do believe, as I often say, Phil Heath, he is beating the better structure with execution and, let's just face it, practice. I'm sure Phil Heath, somebody tells him, can you hit a shot? He goes for a side tricep or shows his back. But either way, I would give him an edge. So it's muscle maturity over structure, or it's more execution. Go to the back shot. And this is dominance for Phil, the Dr. Heath. He is defeating, the Doctor's defeating the Count Dracula, the Count of Monte Krizo. Get it? Anyway, glutes are good and dry for Krizo. Good structure, obviously the guy's structure is amazing. His back needs more size. I know that sounds nitpicky, but it needs more width, more depth, just more thickness. Needs more size to compete against a Phil Heath. I would give Phil this one hands down. Go to the rear double. And yeah, Phil's lat insertions just cleaner, neater, but this is a decent shot for Krizo because he shows the arms. You see that? Traps are good too. He just does not have the lat insertions of a Phil Heath. I gotta say though, this double bi looks pretty darn good for Krizo. It's because he's throwing the arms into the situation. Hamstrings, glutes are good good and conditioned. But the hamstrings of Phil Heath could get him an edge. The combination of both back shots, though, I would say Phil would definitely be getting an edge. Go to the abs and thigh, guys. And, matchups can change in the last quarter. And Krizo is showing me a package here that most certainly defeats Phil Heath. It is a 3-dimensional thickness that hurts Phil Heath in this one, if you know what I'm saying, guys. With no disrespect, I mean, the guy's a legend. A legend. But they're, sometimes you're Ronnie Coleman's, you go through injuries, you go through battles, and Phil Heath, no real worse for the wear except for that midsection. And that makes a difference. Finish this one off. Even in this one, you can see that midsection is drawn out for sure. And I'm not saying Phil Heath isn't defeating Krizo in all other aspects. Muscle separation. Of course, he looks pretty good, does Krizo, in the upper body here. Good balance of condition and of muscle maturity. Everything. Looks good. But Phil Heath, let's face it, when you look at the wheel separation, vascularity, got a lot of oil on him, I can tell you that much. Maybe that's why he didn't have so much for the finals. They probably told him, too much oil. Can you get rid of the midsection as well? Well, no, man, I can't do that, man. That's my Phil the Doctor Heath impression. The Count of Monte Krizo does not have an impression yet. What a matchup, guys. You guys selected 4 difficult ones to pick a winner, and for sure, you're going to get criticism no matter which way you go with this one. I mean, you got a new up-and-comer yet to be proven versus a legitimate legend, but way past his prime. So who wins? Well, on my channel, this guy is Michal Krizo. He is defeating Phil Heath. Now, not saying he was beating him in all of the shots. In fact, Phil Heath had better condition. He had better muscle separation. He was just out-muscling Krizo in the back shots, things of that nature. But old Max Muscle places a great deal of emphasis on that midsection, and with all due respect to Phil the Gift Heath, I was dinging him for that. It's like a torn pec or a torn bicep. Not so much a torn pec, but more of a torn bicep. It's a real glaring omission. Yes, he was defeating Krizo, like he was defeating Sean Roden, for goodness sakes, in 2018. Of course he was. Look at the condition of the two. Yes, he was. But the midsection, that's you get a red flag or whatever you get in European football, or as they call it, soccer in the U.S. Anyway, guys, Krizo advances on to the finals. It will definitely make for a controversial main event, because every one of these winners of this fan requested Friday lineup, you guys made me have a good return here, and it's all controversial decisions. Look forward to the main event, like I said, tomorrow. And, of course, there's the Legion Sports Fest to look forward to as well, guys. Have a great day.